My name is Rafael Vazquez. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I've been living now in Buffalo for 6 years. I was born in Puerto Rico. I was born in Bayamón, Puerto Rico. And going to school in Puerto Rico was kind of tough. And I had my cousin, he used to always get into fights in school. And he used to always win his fights. And I told him, how you know how to fight? And he said, I go to the boxing gym. And one day he just took me to the boxing gym when I was 7 and I fell in love with it. Puerto Rico produces a lot of fighters, you know, and it's a small little island, right? Small little island. We got so much world champions to come out of little island. You know, growing up, you know, I trained around Chapo Rosario. I trained around Rafael Vazquez Sr. I trained around Chino Cardona, world champion. All 3 world champions that I grew up watching when I was 7 years old, living in Puerto Rico, that was world champion at that time when I was living in Puerto Rico. So what I love about this sport, it's a lot of things about this sport. Like, you know, I like teaching other people, right? This sport teaches you discipline. For me, it just, you know, I like doing it, I like helping other people because this sport has helped me so much in my career, in my life, and I'm trying to just give back to young kids. It was, to enter that ring, it was one of the, you know, that's something I always wanted to accomplish, right? Be a professional fighter, right? I fought in Madison Garden in 1995 in the Golden Glove Finals. So walking to that arena, I was happy, I was nervous. It was so much emotion going through, you know? Because that's what everybody competes at, you know, big fighters, you know, Felix Trinidad, Madison Garden. And for me, it was like, whoa, I made it here. I made it to the Mecca of boxing, Madison Garden. So for me, it was awesome. I went to the finals 3 years in a row, 95, 96, 97, New York Golden Gloves. In 2013, I fought for the WBA Federation title. It was the first boxing event in Queens, New York. It was the first casino built in Queens next to the Aqueduct racetrack. And I was one of the first guys fought there for a New York WBC Federation title. And for me that was everything, you know? That for me, walking in there, fighting for a title was the biggest thing in my life. You know, I went there, got a 9-round knockout, and that I'm gonna hold that for the rest of my life. You know, that's something that I will never forget, that fight. My biggest lesson in my boxing career that I learned was always stay in shape, stay humble. You know, I had 19 pro fights. I remember my first fight. I remember my first loss. You know, my first loss, I took it real hard. You know, I think when I lost my first pro fight, I cried like a little kid. I slept on the floor and I cried like a little kid, you know, because I know the mistake I did to the camp that cost me the fight. And that only pushed me to become better. Because after that fight, if you see my record, it was all knockouts after that. Vazquez boxing always been a dream, but I couldn't accomplish this dream in New York City because too expensive to open a gym in New York City. So when I came to Buffalo, you know, just after working for a couple of gyms and looking around, looking like the rent is so cheap out here, I was like, man, I could do my own gym. And a couple of people came up to me and told me what's the name of the gym. I said, I'm gonna put it Vazquez Boxing. And I wanted to use my name, my last name, to leave a legacy behind. It's very important. I like mentoring young fighters because I've been through a lot in my life. I have been through a lot. I've been clean 19 years from drug abuse, been locked up in jail. So that kind of experience that I went through, not having like a father figure in my life, you know, I found it in the street, and it took me to bad challenges in life, you know. So when I decided to open the gym, I wanted to mentor my fighters, you know. Like I could see a fighter walk in the gym and know what he's dealing with. because I deal with a lot of stuff in life. So I like mentoring my fighters, speaking to them about life. I always speak to them about boxing is good, but boxing is always comes second. School's always first, you know? And between me and you, I don't have education, you know? My education was streets, you know? So I always try to better my fighters, you know, let them know what I went through didn't work out for me. So, you know, if you listen to me and you do the right thing, listen to your parents and stay focused, anything is possible in life, you know? A lot of good lessons I learned from here, you know? It taught me a lot. It taught me how to stay humble, right? It taught me how to respect others, you know? Discipline. You know, if you don't have discipline in this sport, you will not go nowhere, you know? So all this little stuff that it taught me, I try to give back to my fighters, you know? Somebody that never stepped into a boxing ring and just want to give it a try. When they walk in, I ask that question, you ever fought before? You ever, you know, what's your goal? You know, I let them know, you know, if you want to compete, it's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be easy. You know, you have to wake up in the morning before school, do your miles, your 2-3 miles run. You know, after school, do your homework, head to the gym for 2 hours. You know, it's a very difficult sport to do. When they hear Vazquez, they hear Vazquez Boxing Gym. People think about a family gym. If you look across, it says we are more than a gym. We are a family. That's what I try to bring to this gym. You know, I try to bring. And when you hear Vazquez, it's more like a family. It's more. I'm trying to help other people. You know, not just in boxing, out of boxing. You know, stuff that people are going out. Young kids. You know, I got a lot of young kids. They've been to the gym here on house arrest. You know, mental. I got kids that call me at 3-4 o'clock in the morning going through depression. You know, so it's not just boxing. It's just what I do out of boxing also. If I could look back to that young kid from that laced up in Puerto Rico for the first time, then came to Brooklyn, never give up. Continue fighting your battles. My name is Rafael Vazquez. I'm located in 700 Main Street. Come down and check me out. Come in and come to the gym and feel like a family. And you're watching it, Buffalo Latino Lens.